Good morning. How y'all doing? Y'all doing good? Okay. Yeah, just keep pushing through y'all storm. It's gonna get better. Now he placed his judgment too. So a lot of stuff you probably trying to figure out. Now this for some people, you know. It don't apply to everything. I'm just gonna start saying this whole thing within everything that I say. But I ain't talking about nobody. If I talk about somebody, I have to just give my overview of the word allegedly. Allegedly, y'all. But yeah. So I ain't really talking about like nobody. So I ain't got really to use the word allegedly. Like God ain't gave me just like a vision dealing with like a celebrity or nothing. But dealing with all celebrities, anybody, everybody, everything allegedly, but everything I see happen. So, like I said, believe what y'all want to believe on it. But I just put the word out. Do what you want with the information. Yeah, I'm telling y'all before I start this day up. Y'all gotta get this day up and going, but I was just gonna put some time to talk to y'all. What I was gonna talk about. I work 2 jobs. So at one of my jobs, I had won a t-shirt doing cancer awareness. I didn't even know it was cancer. Like, I didn't even know. I wasn't even aware that it was like cancer awareness month. But this particular day, I called myself, what you call it? Being a witness. So I wear my God t-shirts and stuff to work, like being a witness when I walk through the building. I'm like, shoot, let me put something on about God to walk through this building. So I grabbed my God t-shirt. So when I grabbed which happened to have pink in it. So I grabbed my God t-shirt to be a witness. Without being a witness, just walking around, you're going to see what it is. I always grab this shirt. Like once a week, I'd be like, okay, let me be a witness today. Let me put on my God t-shirt. So I had put on my pink t-shirt. That happened, I did it to witness to people. Like, okay, I got a witness today. Let me find my t-shirt, put on, so when I walk through the building, everybody already see what it is. That's how it was. So I walk inside. So when I walk inside, one of the managers pulled me to the side and gave me like a little ticket. And I was looking, cause sometimes I have food in my hand. You ain't supposed to have no food, drink in the warehouse, like I be bugging the system a little bit. So when they pull me over, I'm thinking she could call me out for some food, some drink, for something. I'm like, I'm walking in the building with my Chick-fil-A, and I'm trying to just like kind of sneak in, and all of a sudden this lady just like, ma'am, come here. She like, hold this ticket. She like, everybody want one. Just hold the ticket and just give it to us whenever you got time. Just come back and She didn't ever tell me what it was for, but she just gave me that ticket. But she said everybody want it. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then she was like, you thought you did something, didn't you? Everybody do something, y'all. Ain't nobody perfect. Ain't nobody but Jesus. All of do something now. It's just like if they're going to call you out for everything you do. We all break the laws all day, every day. It's no way you can't break the law. That's why Jesus said to come himself, because nobody could follow the laws. Like every single law, if you look in the Old Testament, some of those laws, it was no way. There was no way you could follow the laws of man. The laws of man, it was always like, it was no way. Like, it basically was impossible to follow the laws of man. So Jesus just came and changed all that all together, like an example. Working on the Sabbath. Well, thou shalt not work on the Sabbath. Well, you work on the Sabbath, you done broke the law. So in the Bible, when Jesus was talking, and they would get mad at him, because he spoke to talk about, because he healed somebody on the Sunday. And they was like, you healed somebody on the Sunday, you breaking the law? And Jesus was like, well, if your animal was stuck in the mud, you would work to get that animal out the mud. Like, the laws were so unrealistic. And if you pay attention, we pretty much going into those certain type of laws where basically everybody gonna be a criminal. Like, it's nothing you gonna be able to do to not be a criminal. Like, everything you gonna do is gonna go against something you ain't supposed to be doing. So that's why he came. So in the process, she kind of even brought it up. So I must look suspicious too while I was, I don't know how I was looking. All I know is the man that pulled me out, gave me a ticket. Then afterwards, she was like, you must thought you did something. And then I'm looking at her like, how you know? So later on, I end up winning a t-shirt. for wearing pink. So I'm walking around my t-shirt in the building, and everybody who got on pink was like, how did you get a t-shirt? And I was like, I just wore pink, and they just gave me a ticket for a t-shirt. And they was like, well, we wore pink too, and we didn't get no ticket, so what you do to get a ticket? And I was just like, just wore pink. Like, it was just so simple, just wore pink. So that what happened at one of my jobs. So I go to the other job, and this all happened the same week. And then my second job, they was getting out them raffle tickets, you know, and during the meeting or during the time or whatever, they end up calling my number. So they calling out all the numbers, then I look. You know, I already had looked anyway, so I already knew the number. So they had called out the number, and then, you know, they was like, whoever got this number wins. So I'm like, ding, 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 ding. That's how it was. I had won there too. So I was telling my sister. I was telling her that at both of my jobs, I just randomly was winning all this stuff. Like, I'm like, at one job, I just got this t-shirt for cancer awareness. And I was just going to preach the gospel with just wearing a t-shirt. Something simple as wearing a t-shirt with something positive on it. Everybody gonna read it. You know, you ain't even gotta be verbal. You can express yourself and witness to people all kind of ways. So when I go to work, I make sure I put on something dealing with Christianity, something dealing with God. You know, I try to. So I do that. And I was just telling her how I had won a t-shirt at one of my jobs. Then I go to the other job and they pull these numbers, and I'm like, boom, my number, the numbers that win. So jokingly, she was like, well, Shannon, you might need to play the lottery. You know, that's what she said jokingly. And I could just feel like I never even put no energy into it. 'Cause I put my faith in God. You know, I want him to be the one. Like, if he come to me and be like, okay, get a ticket, that'll be the only way. Like, he had to come to me in the vision and verbally tell me, hey, Shane, I need you to go get you a ticket. That's the only way I do something like that. But other than that, I just give it to him and trust him to make a way. But when she said that, God let me see how it feels firsthand. Because, y'all, I'm reading the book of Samuel. I'm reading Samuel. And basically Samuel, 1 Samuel. Y'all, these words, why I got to be reading the chapters? I can't even pronounce the words too. I feel like Moses, you know, he had a stuttering problem. And God said, I'm going to use you and you got to speak for the people. And, you know, he one of the worst ones, like the person you wouldn't even expect to be a speaker was appointed to be a speaker. Like, he had so many speech impediments and issues going on. But God said, I want to use you, and you're going to be the one I want to use to speak to the people with your speech impediment. So, I'm reading Samuel out, y'all. I done drifted off. Let me get back on this. See, God be taking this stuff so many different ways, y'all. Let me get back on track. But I'm reading Samuel, and the people, God's people, in the beginning, they only had him. They only had God to go to for every single thing going on. Like, they didn't have the structure of a king and the structure that other nations had. They just went to God. Like, that's how their relationship was. It was just like something going on. God was the appointed one over everything dealing with them. And he made all the decisions. He did everything. So these people, they started looking at all these other countries and was like, we want a king. We want a king. So they were saying that they wanted a king. And so Samuel was going before God, telling him that the people was complaining that they wanted to be like the other nations, and they wanted a king too. So God gave them the rundown of, if you have a king, this is going to be all the issues that you're going to have with having a man appointed over you. Like, you're going to have problems because you got somebody that's not even perfect themselves appointed to try to make you live and walk perfect. You got, so it's gonna be some corruption with it. So many words, God just laid out all this corruption. It's gonna be tied to having a king, and the people still want it because they on the outside looking in, and they see all the other nations, and they think that, ooh, that's what we need. But they had God Himself, and they weren't really happy with it. So I'm paraphrasing this. So long story short, Samuel, who was the prophet, was going to tell. He was the mediator between God and the people, God and the people. So after he get through telling people about how God was, you know, telling God how the people was complaining about how they wanted a king, God listed Samuel, then go back and spread the word. So when he went back, God finally said, give the people what they want. give the people what they want. You know, he like, you already gave them the rundown of everything that's going to be an issue with them, including them going to have to be paying more money than what they already paying. Like, he gave them the rundown of the issues you're going to have with having a person appointed over you, and they ain't perfect themselves. So, they didn't care. They just want to be like everybody else. So, he just finally just gave in, and Samuel was like, was trying to speak against it, and then God said, give the people what they want. He said, take the time, listen to what they want, and let's just get them what they want. Because God's so caring. Like, even with it hurting him, he still just, like, give the people what they want. Like, if they beg for a king, then I'm going to get them this just because this is what they're requesting and what they want. You know, but that hurt him because he had been a, like, provider all the way up. And now they said, well, we want to put faith in the man. So we want a king. We want somebody at a point. We don't want to do this. We don't want to deal directly with you, the source. We want a king, you know. And God ended up giving it to him, but it hurt him for them not to appreciate everything he had done, and the fact that they felt like they needed a king. You know, they hurted him, but he still gave it to him just because he was so caring. Like he was so, I could feel the hurt from him, and he was so hurt behind the situation of them just requesting and begging for a king, and he just doing so much and giving so much, and he like, I'm giving y'all this, I'm doing that, I'm blessing y'all, and y'all still saying y'all want a king. He was like, y'all ain't gonna want to be tied to it, but I'm gonna give it to you just because I see that, you know, this is something that you deeply desire, you know. So even though it hurt me to do this to y'all or for y'all, because y'all requesting it, I'm gonna do it. So that's what ended up happening. So that's all I read so far, y'all. So yeah, I'm on Samuel chapter 1, maybe chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4. I'm on chapter 6 or 7. Look, I had to count down. Like, what chapter I'm on here? But I've been reading Samuel. And that's where I'm at. So boop. So I ain't read nothing past that part. Some stuff I probably read back in the past, but as of right now, I'm like right there. So I'm right there where, you know, it hurt him so bad to, you know, give the people over to a king. But this is what they begged for. This is what they requested. This is what they want. Even with him going there and telling them all the issues they're going to have with a king, they still like, we want a king, we want a king, we want a king, we want a king. And he finally told Samuel, just give the people what they want. Finally, he just said, just give the people what they want. And so now they finna feel it. Now they finna feel what it was like. And see that it wasn't so bad to follow behind God. Because now they finna, and look, I ain't even got into the other part, but I already can kind of sense where it's going with that Samuel. So that's where I'm at right now. So I say that to say, boom, let me jump back on what I was talking about. Y'all, God gonna get me together with these thoughts and stuff. Y'all just work with me through this. But that's how I was saying, I had won at my other job. I won a pink shirt. Everybody was like, how you get a shirt? How you get a shirt? And I ain't getting no shirt. And I'm wearing pink just like you. Like, they were loud in the cafeteria. They were so loud. How you get a shirt? And I'm just walking around like, I told my kids I'm like a big kid, so I just want a t-shirt. So I'm the happiest kid in the building right now. And then I go to the other place, and in my second job, they called my raffle number. So I won a second prize. So I got two. I told my kids, I said, dog, I've been winning all week. Like, I done won this shirt. Then I go to the other job, I done won this, you know. So my sister was like, you should play the lottery. You should play the lottery. And I could just feel the hurt from God. The same way he felt when he was being with the people from Samuel. He had been they God and giving them everything that they ever wanted, ever desired. But yet and still, they felt like they needed a king. That's the emotion I felt from God. And when she was like, go get a lottery, God wanted to get glory in my situations. So when I'm like down to my last penny, and I can't figure out how I'm paying my bills, and it's just so stressful, and I'm about to just like, and then he pop up on the scene out of nowhere and make something out of nothing. See, God like doing stuff like that, y'all. Like, we don't want to go through that. We don't want to be, like, trying to stress about how we going to pay our bills and this and that and this do, that do, and all this stuff. And then God pop up on the scene and show up and show out. Like, who want to go through all that? But God, he really enjoys the glory that he get in those type of situations. And so, with me winning the lottery, y'all, it'll be like, I wouldn't need God. Like, I wouldn't have that dependence on him financially. And he want to give me the dependence. Like, he want to do it. Like, he love doing, showing up, showing out. And, you know, I'm about to get, my car about to be repoed. And I don't even know how I'm going to pay. And I got to put faith in him. And he just said something about it miraculously. And your bill just paid. Like, he like doing stuff like that. Like, on the scene, surprising you and stuff like that. We don't like going through it. Like, we don't like going through it because we want to know. But that's where faith come in. Faith is the evidence of things not seen. So if you don't see where it's coming from, and you still trusting and believing, boom, you know, that's the key element, y'all. So when you deal with a lottery, and you got this sense of security financially, you know, it's like you're not gonna be dependent and want and need God to get you through at that point. It's like the less dependent you become on God, the further away you're gonna pull away from him. Like, you have to have some kind of dependence, you know, on him to a degree. You know, so she would tell me that, and I could just feel the hurt. God just let me feel his hurt of him not being the one to show up and show out. And it just hurt him. It'll just hurt him from after everything he done pull me through, y'all. After everything, after all these, like, miracles, out of all this glory he done got in all these situations, all this praise, which he's loving and enjoying, and I just go, boop, get the lottery, boom, hit the lottery, you know, it was like a slap in his face for everything he done did for me up to this point. You know, that's the energy I was getting. Just like the people. Like, he like, I done did so much for y'all, but you still saying you want a king. I done did so much for you, but you still saying you want that financial security, so you want me just to give you this lump sum money to bless you financially instead of putting your trust in me to make a way for what you're going to do and trusting the process. You know, so that's what I felt behind it. I just felt this hurt. Yeah. Like, God want to be God in our life. Like, we need to let God be God in our life. And that's what he want to be. Like, that's when he show up and show out. Look, mentally now, we in the flesh, so we just like, you know, how I'm pay this, how I'm pay that, my bills do, this do, that do, dog, you know, they saying it, you know, like, us, we like a mental stretch, we mentally stressed and strained out here. We about to lose it. But God always make a way for us, and he want us to have that trust in me. After I saw that hurt from him, I'm like, well, God, I want you to keep doing what you do. Like, if this is something you enjoy doing, even if it's at the expense of me saying, I don't even know how to pay my rent this month, you know, just to make, you know, just for you, you know, just for you to do what you do, I'm going to let you do what you do, you know, in my life. Like, if you want to continue to show up and show out and do what you do financially for me, how you been doing for me, how you done all the way up to this point, I'm going to let you do that. But as far as the lottery, just like with the king, it was a lot of, like, he weighed out and just told them everything that come with it. When you win the lottery, it's a lot that come with it. It's a lot more that come with just, okay, I'm financially secure now. I ain't never got to worry about a bill. It's a lot of stuff coming in, a lot of enemies coming in. People finna be trying to set you up. Like, it's a lot associated with it. And guess what? Is you ready for all that? Like, is you ready for the good and the bad that come with it? With that seed of that spirit that's tied to all that? It's a lot all the way around. But me, you know, it ain't in my spirit. It's just in my spirit to keep trusting God doing what I do, because, you know, I'm just going to let God be God. And whatever he trying to do, you know, he trying to get the glory in the situation. Ain't no telling who's looking at you and who you were inspiration to. So I just keep pushing forward like that. But I was just speaking because my sister had actually, was jokingly, because I had been winning, like everywhere. I was just like, I'm like, ooh, my number. That's me. Ooh, I'm winning. And she's like, wow, Sheena, you should play the lottery, Sheena. And boom, God, energy and his spirit just came and filled the space. And ooh, it was so sad. And it just reminded me of Samuel, what I'm reading now, and how he felt when them people said, we want a king. We want a king. Like, yeah, you doing everything. You holding us together. You keeping us as a nation and letting us develop and grow and prosper. But we still want a king. And we want all the bad that come with having a king over us, too. You know. So now, I just trust God with everything going on, honestly. Like, I just trust him with me and my finances. And even if he get me to the point where I'm in some kind of bind and got to figure my way out, I'm still going to trust in him to get me out, because that's what God do. Let God be God in your life. Y'all, let God be God in y'all life. And part of him being God in y'all life is during those times where he make a way out of no way. So let him make his ways out of no way and let God be happy. You know. Do not make God mad. Let him be happy doing these little things that he's doing in our life. You know. And just trust the process and have faith in it. You know, at the end. So I'm going to talk to y'all later. So, yeah, so to sum it all up, y'all, all of that right there. Because God was going to take me a lot of different ways. I had to keep pushing myself back onto the subject I probably been jumping on. Yeah. So, to sum it all up, me saying I want to win and play the lottery is me also saying that, well, God, I don't want to depend on you no more. Like, I don't want to depend on you. I want to have my own resources, my own money. I want to be comfortable and just know that even though everything okay with you, I gotta walk by faith with you. But the physical, faith is the evidence of things not seen. So if I'm trusting God to make a way and putting faith in him, yeah, that's joy to his heart. But if he physically just showed me, okay, Shannon, you straight, it's just like in a way from just behind the scenes, just the idea of all that, it just basically, to him, this is him, his perception is just basically saying, well, God, I don't need you no more. I don't want you no more. Like, you know, it's just like a slap in his face. It's a slap in his face from everything he delivered you from. Then for you to just throw him to the curb and say, well, I don't want you no more. I don't need you no more. So set me up so I ain't got to worry about this. You know, that's my take on it and what I get out of it. And that's the vibe I was feeling behind it. And it just was one of my sisters saying to me as a joke. You know, and all that what kind with it. And then I happened to be reading Samuel, who the people was talking about, we don't want a king. They didn't want their dependency on him. They didn't want him to be the one to do that. So this same situation where, okay, let me set myself up, because now I ain't got to depend on God in the finance department. Now let me make sure I'm a millionaire. So financially, I ain't got to worry about this. I ain't got to worry about getting down to my land, trying to pay my car note, trying to pay my light bill, can't pay my light bill, my phone bill, my rent due. I don't want to mentally be dealing with all that. Even though God will get the glory in this situation, I want to set myself up where I ain't even got to be in that situation. Now, it's different for different folks. Now, God do bless people different and accordingly and all that. So everybody's situation ain't the same. And it's people on different walks of life with God. God help bless some people financially. And for much is required. For much is given, much is required. Remember that too. So when you see somebody with a little more than you, best believe God requiring more out that person. Best believe God is requiring way more. So just keep in mind that, you know, with me, in my situation, this ain't for everybody, because God do bless some through, you know, stuff like that. You know, I don't know. I ain't getting into that. I'm just speaking on me, my situation, and just a little joke that my sister had told me, and just what God had revealed to me in my situation. Everybody's situation ain't the same. But this just me and my situation. And I'll talk to y'all later.